been a family therapist for decades, and I've had lots of kids come into my office. Either the parents come in and they're raising a very challenged child with a diagnosis of something, that's quite significant, or the child's just a little quirky or different, has trouble socializing, has trouble being appropriate, saying the appropriate things, is really ramped up all the time or hyper, or more withdrawn, more introverted, extremely shy. And in almost all of those cases, even though the parents just knock me out, they just show up almost all the time in the most beautiful ways. There is a path to getting there. And I think I know what I love about what you're doing and the book that you wrote, Differently Wired, and the class that we're doing, is that acceptance is not a one-time thing, is it?
No, I talk with a lot of parents about this, and I think that's one of the reasons why my community has resonated so much with me, is because I've been doing this work for a long time. I've created this community. I'm very open about our story, and I'm not there. It's not a destination, right? It's just, it's work. It's ongoing commitment and attention to parenting. And I think that's hard for a lot of parents to wrap their heads around, because we don't want to feel this way, because not being accepting of who our kids are doesn't feel great.
Yeah. And yet, one of the things that we're going to talk about today for a few minutes, and then in our, go in depth on Wednesday and in the class, which, by the way, you can catch the replay if you can't join us live. And we've got kind of tiered pricing, so almost anyone can sign up, and we are scholarshiping people who can't afford to come. Other people are paying a little bit more to help offset the cost of that. We're going to give you the audio recording. So we really want to push this out in a big way for parents, because this notion of coming to acceptance and being real about the journey and being real about the challenges, isn't there a lot of, still this a struggle with even saying things like, I don't really like my child today. I love him, but I'm not very fond of him. I mean, can you speak to that?
Oh, absolutely. That's something I hear so much about, is just this perpetual, it's kind of a sense of failure and guilt and shame all rolled into one. And when you have a child who is challenging you, and not only your ideals, but you're often having to show up in a way you didn't anticipate, maybe to advocate or to push or to explain or help other people accept your child, then we can just find ourselves not really enjoying the plight that we might be thinking we drew this short straw sometimes. And,
wow.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing all your friends post these pictures of their kids at the recital, and you have a child who couldn't possibly take a class and be still. And, I just want to say this so loudly, even though I won't raise my voice louder, that as a therapist, whatever you're experiencing is okay. And this notion, or this sort of stench of guilt and shame, is not your friend ever. Right. I mean, occasionally little doses of guilt, like if I'm rude to someone, a telemarketer, I might feel a little sting inside myself. And that's good, because it motivates me to just try a little harder to be polite and patient. But in general, the reason that I love what you're doing, Debbie, and the books that you're writing, and all of the way you're representing your story, is that it's really kind of you're vigilantly trying to announce that feeling badly about how you feel about your child on any given day, or the sadness, the loss of the child you thought you were going to get, or the disappointment or anger that you feel when somebody can't bother to invite your child to the birthday party. Yeah, maybe he's a little odd or a little disruptive, but he still has feelings. Or that the teachers are constantly complaining about how he's being difficult in classroom or disruptive. Just say a little bit more about the importance, please, of removing that kind of layer of, on top of all the challenges that you're facing, feeling kind of like like the failure, or like you're not loving enough or patient enough or accepting enough. You should be more spiritual about it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so little priority spent on ourselves in this. You know, we're doing so much for our kids, we're organizing their lives, and we also feel like our kids are a reflection on us. You know, they're like, you talked about the Facebook, that I call it the compare and despair cycle, especially around graduation and all those things that happen. But we just place all these demands on ourselves. We don't see our kids meeting those, and we make that mean something about us, that we're failing. So we don't want to talk about it. It's just this perpetual thing. And it's so important to honor our experience.